Hi guys! So this video is to basically kickstart my vlogs for just going over my heart failure journey. I've gone on YouTube, I've gone on Google, Tumblr, I've looked for blogs, everything, and it's like nobody has documented what's happened through their journey, or if they have, it's been few and far between. And so not many people have really gotten their story out there like they do for like other, health issues. So I just feel the need to share mine with you guys, I guess, and try to explain what's going on with me. And that's what this video is going to be, is me explaining how this all started and what's been done so far. And after this video, the following videos, I will take you guys with me to appointments and explain what's going on and how everything's going and all of that. But let's get into what this video is about. Okay, so this all symptoms and everything started in March. So March 2018. It was like the beginning of March when I suddenly started feeling like, not the greatest, not like a cold or anything, I just didn't feel great, I just wasn't feeling normal and everything, so I just chalked it up to being tired from taking care of my daughter and getting everything ready for, Bryce, my husband, to come home from deployment. So I just summed it up to that. Well, as the days got closer to my husband coming home, I started, being really exhausted and noticing I have to sit up at night to be able to breathe while I slept. And just little things, nothing too major. After Bryce came home, I was walking to my kitchen or something, and I got so extremely out of breath and my chest started hurting so bad, like it was someone stabbing me right here in my chest. And so Bryce decided, he's like, all right, you're going to the hospital. Well, I got there and they had asked me what birth control I had been on and everything, and I had just gotten off Nexplanon because I had so many issues with it. And I told them about that. Well, they said that my risk of having a blood clot in my lung was really high. So they thought, oh, you could have a blood clot from being off of Nexplanon and everything. So they did a CAT scan with contrast or something like that, and they just summed it up to pneumonia. There was no blood clots. They were like, oh, see your regular doctor in a week. So I got an inhaler and steroids and antibiotics and stuff like that and was sent home. Well, a week later, I normally don't even go to follow-up appointments, but they were at the ER, they were like, you have pneumonia, you have to do the follow-up visit. So I went, and I walked in and I went to this doctor, and who was actually new to me because my old regular doctor had PCS or something. And so I'm seeing this doctor, and he comes in and he goes, so you never had pneumonia? Which was crazy to me because that's what the ER told me. That's would explain why I was out of breath and why I couldn't breathe. Well, this doctor starts asking me all these questions, are you short of breath? Do you have to sit up at night? How many pillows do you use to sleep with at night? Where's the pain? Do your ankles swell? Is there swelling anywhere else? He's looking at my neck. He's listening to my heart and my lungs and everything. And suddenly he rushes out of the room. And this nurse comes back in, and she is like, we need to hook you up to an EKG machine, and right now. And I was like, okay. So they did that, and then he came back in, and he's in a fluster, just trying to get around and do things. And I was like, oh, whatever, he's just with other patients. And he flies in and says, your EKG is normal, but you need to go get blood work and come right back here. And so I went and I got blood work, and I came back, and he goes, well, you're in early stages heart failure. And that was the one appointment that my husband couldn't get out of work to come with me. So he had the baby at work with him, and I was at the doctor's, and this doctor's telling me, you're in early stage heart failure from what I can see. And I took everything in me at that point, sitting in that room, to not burst into tears, because the only thing that's ever been wrong with me is migraine. When he says heart failure, I immediately think, heart transplant, I'm gonna die, da 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 da, which thankfully at this point it's not like that. But he an emergency referral for you to go see a cardiologist. And so I went home and I told Bryce what was going on, and he freaked out, of course, because that's crazy. That's something neither one of us, I'm 20 years old. That's not something that 20-year-olds failure, heart disease, that stuff, you kind of think, oh, older, 60s, 70s or something. Not in a young, healthy 20-year-old. Well, the next week, 2 weeks later, actually, I went to my cardiologist, and he met with me, and he put me on some diuretics and potassium to help me breathe better, because what it was there was fluid on my lungs from my heart not pumping well enough. So he put me on all that, and then sent me for more blood work. Again, got the same thing that the other doctor did. And the next time I went in, he ordered me to get an echo. And every time I've gone in, I got blood pressure taken and EKGs every single time. But this time I have to get an echo. Well, I got my echo, and the nurse, or the echo technician or something, whoever it was that did it, told me, it usually takes a week or so before the doctor gets around to looking at the echo, and before he calls you with results. So he said after the echo, schedule a regular appointment for a month later. Well, 2 days after I got the echo, I got a call from the cardiologist and said, I need you in here tomorrow. And that scared the crap out of me. Literally, I was freaked out. Because all the blood test results and stuff that, came back normal or little to no, tell signs, they all put them on my patient portal, and I'd see them online. Well, this one, he called me and was like, get in here next day. So I went in the next day. The first thing he says when he walks into the room was, it's not good news. And that was just the point. That was the second that I knew that I was in for a long, long journey through all of this. Because he said, the tone in his voice and the way he said it was, it's not good. And so he starts explaining it to me, and how he explained it to me was the left ventricle, which is a chamber in my heart, isn't pumping the way it should. So alright, so a heart should pump like this. Mine's pumping like this. And the left ventricle is also bigger than it should be. And so it's bigger than it should be. And with it being bigger and not pumping the way it should, it's causing my mitral valve to leak. So essentially my mitral valve is, instead of letting, blood through it one way, it'll go like this through the valve. And so it's not pumping correctly at all. And that's what's causing the fluid buildup in my lungs and the swelling and fatigue, because my heart is working double time to keep my body going. It's working overtime to make sure, I stay alive. So it's making me tired and fluid buildup and all of that. Well, at that appointment, my cardiologist said, I'm not equipped to handle your heart failure. And, thinking, why not? And he goes, I'm used to older patients that we just want to treat the symptoms, because they've had a long life. They wouldn't be eligible for the transplant list if needed. He just treats the symptoms, basically. That's what he's equipped for. He's not equipped for all of the extensive stuff to fix what's going on with me. And so he sent me to Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester, New York, because they are the best heart failure and heart transplant center in this region. And he said that there was a place in Syracuse, but that I could have gone to for the cardiologist, but he's afraid I'll need a heart transplant, which is a possibility at this point. A heart transplant, and Rochester's the best one there is, so he sent me there. And for anyone that doesn't know, I live 3 hours away from Rochester, New York. So it's a drive every time we go. We have, it's crazy. But he sent me to Strong Memorial Hospital, which is great. It's fantastic. But so far I've gone there I went for a stress test, which they hooked me up to an EKG, and which is, I don't know if you guys know what that is. They put leads all over my chest, and then they check my heartbeat and everything. And they hooked me up to that and left me attached to it for a few minutes, and then left it on me and had me get on a stationary bike. And they put this mask thing on me it was made out of suits that scuba divers wear. It's made out of that, but it has a hose connected to it that wraps up around your head, and it measures your breathing, and it straps around your head. So I had that on, and I had to go on the stationary bike. Well, I had to go at a certain speed or something the whole time. I couldn't go under it, but I could go over it. And after 2 minutes, it slowly increased the resistance of it. So it slowly made an incline. And the nurse kept telling me, oh, well, whenever you feel like you can't go anymore, just stop, okay? Because the bike always wins, which the bike won pretty quickly. So I did that, and then I sat down, and they kept me hooked up to the EKG until my heart was back to normal. I went to see my regular doctor. Well, my new regular doctor in Rochester. He went over everything with me, and he explained everything. Well, he had sent me to get blood work and to get another echo done. And he had told me that he's sending me to an electrophysiologist, which is, I don't even know what it is. It's a doctor that will talk to me and determine if I'm a good candidate for what's it called? An internal defibrillator. Basically, it's a thing that they put right here in my chest, and there's leads that go into my heart, and anytime my heart goes out of rhythm or goes into a dangerous rhythm or something, it will shock it and put it back into its normal rhythm and keep it going. He sent me to that doctor. I have the appointment on the 10th, July 10th, and he's also having me do a cardiac MRI, which is any normal MRI, except the nurse told me that it was 3 hours long, not 30 minutes long, so that's kind of scary. And then he's also sending me for a heart a right heart catheterization, which I'm not sure what that is, so I will take you with me to the appointment to kind of better explain it to you. But he told me I've been on medication, like new medications for this, like a beta blocker and ACE inhibitor and all that. So I've been on that for about 4 months. Well, Dr. Thomas explained to me that they normally leave patients on them for 3 to 6 months, and if the medication is going to reverse everything, it will do it in that they'll start seeing signs of it in that first 3 to 6 months. And so if nothing happens within that 3 to 6 months, that's when me and my doctor will decide if I'm a good candidate for the heart transplant list and see if I'm a good candidate for an LVAD, which I guess is something that pumps blood throughout your body. I'm not quite sure since we're not at that point yet. So now I'm just waiting for, I guess, everything to, like all the appointments and everything, because I still have to make my appointments for the MRI and the heart cath. But other than that, I'm just waiting to go to the electrophysiologist on the 10th and for a regular appointment with Dr. Thomas on the 12th, and then a regular visit with my cardiologist here in Watertown on the 17th. And just my life is a whole cluster of appointments at this point, and all I do is sit around and do nothing because this, heart failure is exhausting since your heart's doing double the work than it's normally supposed to do. So it literally uses up all your energy, and I'm exhausted and I have to take care of my daughter, and so it's like I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It's horrific, and I knew it was a possibility, but Dr. Thomas, drilled it into my head that it's a really big possibility in my case. The biggest reason that people with heart failure die is because they die in their sleep, because their heart just stops. And now it's like I'm scared to go to sleep. I'm scared to basically do anything because I don't know when my last breath is going to be my last. I don't know if my heart's going to get better. I don't know if I'm going to need a new one or anything. And it's scary. I'm 20 years old. This shouldn't be happening. But it is. And they don't know what caused it. Dr. Thomas said that it's a really good possibility that it happened because of my pregnancy with my daughter. But the symptoms didn't show up until 10 months after I'd had her. So we don't know. And it's a crazy, crazy ride. It just really sucks. I'm going to keep these vlogs going, and I plan on recording and going to vlogging each appointment that I'm going to and explaining what's going on with me, and just trying to keep you guys in the loop because I know a lot of people are going through this. Even the doctors there and everything told me that there are so many people my age that have to go there for heart transplants or for heart failure or for heart issues in general. And I couldn't find anything on the internet really for heart failure other than, just normal, like Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic and their postings about it, but not any personal experiences. And I know there has to be other people other than me that want to know personal experiences and have hope that they'll make it through this if they see somebody else do it. And so I hope these videos can, help somebody at some point. I'm going to keep them going until this whole process is over, you know? So like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell and see how everything's turning out for me. So I'll see you guys later and in my next vlog. Bye!